So continue with Indus Valley Civilization. Yesterday we have seen Mohenjodaro. So Mohenjodaro is a classic site, the biggest site of Indus Valley Civilization. If we don't consider Rakhigarhi, otherwise Rakhigarhi would be the largest. Fine. And some of the important buildings and findings we have seen during the course of our study. Second is Harappa. This is also very important site because it is first site excavated. This is in Pakistani Punjab on the bank of river Ravi. First site excavated, Harappa. It is Mohenjodaro and Harappa are twin capitals. Both are capital city of Harappan civilization. Both are capital city of Harappan civilization. So as usual, the same division. This is bank of the river Ravi. This is Ravi river, and here we have citadel, and then we have the lower town. Lower town. So this river was flowing, citadel. Before entering in the city, citadel, we decided to take the round of the city. So when we started moving around the city, we have found a cemetery here. So cemetery where the dead body was buried, the cemetery. The archaeologists called this as a cemetery H. They tried to give certain name and they gave it as a cemetery H. Then we decided to take the longer drive. Then we have found another cemetery and it was named as cemetery R37. So cemetery H and cemetery R37. So they had many cemeteries. बहुत मरता था वो. The cemetery H and cemetery R37. So H probably because H is for Harappa. Probably. They thought that we should name it. And then R37 had a very interesting story. Yesterday I told you that most of the Harappan graves are open grave. Means there are no coffin there. That we dig the grave and put the body and then put the soil. But out of the many graves here in R37, there was one grave where we have found the coffin. And this is a very unique thing in the burial practices of the Harappans. So we have found the coffins and then nobody was ready to touch the coffin, forget about opening the coffin. The ghost will come out. So finally, lots of daring, reading the Hanuman Chalisa and others, they opened the coffin. And then finally we found a skeleton. The skeleton was a very big skeleton, 6.5 feet skeleton. If this is a skeleton is 6.5, this is a skeleton of a lady, and the lady must have been of 7.5 feet. So skeleton was there. And in this skeleton, there are 37 copper objects placed in the coffin, which is very common in Mesopotamia. When anybody died, then we put body in the coffin along with some utensils, which is daily uses. So the concept is same, that it's a life after death. Fine. So therefore, probably this lady came from Mesopotamia to have a glimpse of the Indus Valley civilization and died, or maybe very dignified personality, Prime Minister of Mesopotamia. So they this is the treatment we follow in the same customs. So one coffin, since there was 37 copper object, we call it as a cemetery R37. This is the reason why the name of the site was placed as cemetery R37. So we found a coffin with 37 copper objects within that. So archaeologists had certain naming in order to go for the further study. They had a code and they put it. So R37. This is two important findings from Harappa. Then second important thing is, in almost all the Harappan cities, there is granary, because without granary the city people would not get the food, because we have to store the grain from the nearby villages and then we should distribute to the non-agricultural community. So there is a granary everywhere. But here in the Harappan civilization, the granary, this is the only site, Harappa, where granary was located on the bank of river Ravi, outside the citadel. Granary was located on the bank of river Ravi, outside citadel. Otherwise, everywhere within the city. Like we have godown of FCI, so likewise everywhere within the city. So this is the only site we have granary located outside citadel and on the bank of river, maybe because the transportation activities was easier here at this location. Punjab was very good for the wheat cultivation, many surplus available that should be transported to the different sites of the Harappans. There may be heavy surplus production. Okay. So this is the important thing for the Harappa. Then we have found a bronze measurement scale. Bronze scale. Right, excavation, we found bronze scale. They measure the things again in the multiple of 16. Multiple of, all the measurements was in the multiple of 16. Then we have found bronze ikka. Ikka, you understand, ikka is basically bullock cart pulled by single ox or single buffalo. You might have seen in Delhi also, sometimes there is a bullock cart pulled by a single animal, and that is what's called ikka. So bronze ikka. Then we have bronze bull. Anybody had visited the National Archive Museum, then these are the things placed there, here in the just your vicinity. So bronze bull, and this shape of the bull is same as that you see in the stock exchange on the gate of the Bombay Stock Exchange. Same bull is placed. So bronze bull found from there. Harappa was known as Melhua. In the Mesopotamian literature, it is known as Melhua. Then third important city was Lothal. Lothal. Yesterday I told you that there is a unique thing in Lothal, that there are no divisions of the city, but simply the single city was divided in three parts. So we have residential complex, we have industrial complex, and then we have the market. We have the market. So single city was divided in three parts. Lothal. There is no as such big city like Harappa where you have the citadel and the lower town. The single city was divided in industrial complex, then market, and then here are residential locations. Then this city was connected to Arabian Sea. With the help of river Bhogba. Lothal is in Gujarat. With the help of river Bhogba. This is connected to Arabian Sea. And yes, and there is artificial port in Lothal, Bhogba river. Gujarat? अभी तो नहीं है, it's extinct. So there is artificial dockyard here. Many ships are hanged. Many ships are hanged here. Artificial dockyard. So many ships are hanged here. Normally we do loading and unloading. So we have found artificial dockyard at Lothal. Artificial dockyard. Artificial dockyard at Lothal, and many ships are hanged there because Lothal was a port city. Mainly it was constructed for trading purpose. We have found the artificial dockyard, and Lothal was a port city. Mainly it was constructed for trading purpose. We have found Persian Gulf seal from Lothal. So obviously with heavy trade with the Gulf of Persia. Persian seal from Lothal. And then Lothal was famous for multicolor pottery. Multicolor pottery. Multicolor pottery. So in Lothal, we have found the fragments of pottery. So we try to find out something painted on the pottery. There are some paintings. So after minute observation, we found that there is a peepal tree. On the fragments of the pottery, there are peepal tree, and the crow was sitting on that tree. And there is a fox there. Praising crow like anything. Crow had something in the beak. The fox praised that, I have seen your concert, you sing beautifully. So crow became very happy, started singing, Ay Mere Batan Ke Logon. And then finally the morsel fell down. And the story of clever fox. So, a story of clever fox, this is painted in the painting of Lothal. Like that, we might have heard this story, a story of thirsty crow. That bucket had a lower level of water and water. So therefore, these two events are painted in the painting of in the pottery of the Lothal. So you can imagine Vishnu Sharma, he wrote the book Panchtantra, compiling all the stories of moral values, learnings. He wrote around 300 AD. So means 2300 years later than Lothal, 2300 years later. And this story is there in the Lothal. So this story was in the society much before Lothal, much before Harappan civilization. Finally, only when there is a painting like that, and the Vishnu Sharma wrote it. So you can imagine that how big continuity of the tradition there in the Panchatantra. And Panchatantra is the largest selling book after Bible, before Harry Potter, but largest selling book after Bible. So 70 languages it had got translated. So Panchatantra by Vishnu Sharma. This event is painted on the painting of Lothal. So we have the paintings on the pottery that depict the story of clever fox and thirsty crow. Thirsty crow. Then we have found the terracotta image of horse and the cow. Horse and cow. We have found the terracotta statue. Terracotta statue of horse and cow, both. This is very unique because we don't find such thing anywhere. But we have the terracotta model of horse and cow in the Lothal. So something unique that is there in the Lothal, terracotta statue of horse and cow. In the grave of Lothal, we have found a skeleton of male and the female together. Male and female together. But archaeologists said it was not Sati. We have found in a grave male and female together, but archaeologists denied that there was practice of Sati. Archaeologists denied that there is a practice of Sati. Simply it was double burial. Double burial means putting the dead body in the same grave, whosoever died, and then putting the dead body besides that. So this is also something like that, rebirth. These two will born again and will remarry again born, again remarry. This is, whether it was reward and punishment only they know. But this is how the Lothal, story of Lothal. So we have the evidence of double burial there. Then another important site is Kalibangan. Kalibangan is located in Sri Ganganagar district of Rajasthan. Sri Ganganagar district of Rajasthan, on the bank of river Ghaggar, Kalibangan. On the bank of river Ghaggar. Kali means black, and Bangan means bangle. So normally the women of Kalibangan, they make the bangle of clay and then bake it, and after baking it become black, and thereafter they wear it, and that is the reason why it's called Kalibangan. So the word meaning of the word Kalibangan is black bangles. Black bangles. Kalibangan, we have the Jhangar culture. Jhangar culture. The word Jhangar culture was used by the archaeologist. Jhangar culture. That means we have evidence of pre-Harappan, Harappan and late Harappan cultures. All the three cultures is called Jhangar culture. So before development of Harappan civilization, what was the cultural trait? Developed Harappans, and after the declining stage of the Harappans. So late Harappans is a declining stage of the Harappan. So from Kalibangan, we have found the Jhangar culture. That means evidence of pre-Harappan, Harappan and post-Harappan. One more city having this cultural trend is called Amri. Amri in Rajasthan, one more city. Amri also had the Jhangar culture. Rajasthan. So one more city we have, the same trait of the three layers of culture: pre-Harappan, Harappan and post-Harappan. Normally, the Harappan culture, which is basically the most urbanized phase, the high time of the Harappans was 2350 to 1750 BC. BC. 2350 to 1750 BC. After that, Harappan stabilization started getting declining. So this is called late Harappans. So this is a most glamorous phase, most urbanized phase, a very disciplined Harappans. In terms of urbanization, their level of material culture was very high. After that, the level of material culture started declining. Suppose every time you see new house in that city, but after some times you will see that same bricks, same material was used to construct the house. This is called decline in material culture, right? Every time you use new material to make the house, for example, then that means the level of material culture is perfect going on. But when we are using the same bricks and same material every time to construct the house, this is called decline. We have a very good, well civic sense, drainage system, town planning, but when we started finding the zigzag settlement, it means loss of municipal authority, it is called decline, right? When there is lots of migration, this is called decline. Migration is cause also, migration is consequence also, right? Because of migration there is a decline, and because of decline there is a migration. So these are both things. So here pre-Harappan, Harappan and late Harappan culture. Another site is armory. Then Kalibangan was known as a center for the double cropping. Still in Sri Ganganagar district, you will see the cropping pattern. They go for the double cropping, means 2 crops in the same field. 2 crops in the same field means on one row they make gram, chana lagata tha ye log, gram, and other row they had mustard. So gram and mustard, generally they grow here in Kalibangan in the same field. So anytime you can see there is a green and there is a yellow. So that was looking brilliant color, the green lustrous color of chana, gram, and the lustrous yellow color of. So this was a very ideal place for Karan Johar to make the movie. Only thing you needed a guitar, just and jump and then start singing. So gram and mustard. This is a unique double cropping of Kalibangan. Double cropping. Then Kalibangan में एम्स था, All India Institute of Medical Science. We have seen in many graves of Kalibangan, there is a copper rod put in the skull. Many graves. It was a high curious time for the archaeologists, those who found that many graves, 90% of the graves having the copper rod putting inside the skull. So archaeologists finally, after a study of bones, and found that the people of Harappan civilization in that area was suffering from a disease which is called hydrocephalus. दिमाग में पानी हो गया. So hydrocephalus. And the treatment was that put the copper rod inside and suck the water. They were using anesthesia or not, I am not sure. But the success rate of operation was 0.0009% to 1%. So that means those who go to the operation theatre, they might have conveyed that please remember your God. So gram and mustard. And then there was evidence of surgery in Kalibangan for the treatment of hydrocephalus. For the treatment of hydrocephalus. They were very smart. So they don't use bricks, they use tiles. So they construct the houses made of the tiles. They construct the houses made up of tiles. So they were extraordinarily smart in building the houses. So these are some important sites. Suppose there is a question that which of the following site is the largest site of Indus Valley Civilization, then we have answer Mohenjodaro. If they will ask that which is one of the largest site of Indus Valley Civilization in India, if there is no Rakhigarhi, then Dholavira. So in India, after Rakhigarhi we have Dholavira. And yesterday I told you that there are 3 divisions in Dholavira. 3 divisions. Preparation of UPSC is a simple time management for minimum study. not maximum study, minimum study. So what is minimum study? 2.5 hours here in the class. Same thing, same environment, closed door at room, open the class note and open the blank sheet. Keep on putting the word here and keep on understanding the words. Keep on writing again, 2 hours. Same condition, same speed. This become 4.5 hours, right? 2 hours you give to the news affairs, magazine, paper, whatever you do. There's 6.5 hours, right? Now I think you have studied too much other subject also. So 2 hours, 10 days revision for backlog like geography, polity. So we are running with the 2 subjects only. History because it's going on in the class, so we have to revise it. 2 hours geography that we have studied earlier, whether it's studied any subject what we have studied, completed in our class, revision required, and 2 hours for how much is 8.30. That's it. And this is called minimum study, and don't read more than that. But follow it religiously. Don't try to be like James Bond. In the last moment we'll revise. Those who missed the class today without revision, this class became useless for you. This is not simply advice. I'm telling you last 2 decades of experiences, how you prepare any subject, because syllabus is so vast, but there is a technique to cover the syllabus. Every difficulties had certain programming to overcome. Difficulties is not invincible. It has programming which could be easily conquered, and this is the programming. So if you don't go for the revision on the same day, if you don't read the text that we have provided with, so what you have to do yesterday, we have started with the Harappan civilization. Open that SRIRAM's notes and then my notes, and then read it out thoroughly. And thereafter look at the confidence behind you. You will look beautiful thereafter. That is called smartness. Handsome ho jaoge bilkul. Otherwise, you will feel depressed because back of the mind, you feel that this cheating is going on with yourself. So be very honest in your preparation, then only when. So try these things for the next 10 days and look at the difference. Don't read the newspaper just for the sake to qualify the examination. Every Indian citizen should be inspired to read the newspaper. They must know that what is going on in this country, in the world. This is a general awareness for a very genuine citizen of the country. Otherwise, you are reading newspaper कि एग्जाम में कब से आएगा, मार्च से पढ़ना है, अप्रैल से पढ़ना है. This is the way that you will become an IAS officer. This post is a very versatile post. So you are not working as a salaried employee because you are shaping the direction of the nation. So you must have a capability enough to shape the direction. Otherwise you will become useless and liability IAS officer. And you may qualify the examination, no doubt in this, but you won't serve the nation because you don't have the capability to serve. So try to develop these cultivated ideas. So behave like a responsible. This is your moral responsibility towards yourself, towards your family, towards your society, towards your nation. This is the primary thing you have to understand. Be honest. So here the double cropping I told you, the entiles, hydrocephalus, these are the things. Now let's talk about what are the factors of continuity we can observe from the Harappan civilization even today. And this question was asked in perhaps 2020 mains or 2021 mains. So find out when it was asked and write down today. So have a practice session. So continuity, of course, all the religious elements that we see, religious facts, is continued in one way or another. Then continuity fact is the town planning. Town planning, all the facets. Have you seen the Chandigarh? If not Delhi, how beautifully it was planned in the grid pattern? Town planning. Then drainage system. metallurgy, pottery making, bricks, trade pattern. These are the continuous thing even today. Religious facts, town planning, drainage system, metallurgy, pottery making, bricks, trade pattern. Even today, if you see anywhere where there was a bronze artifacts you purchased from the shop, they are using the same technique to make the bronze artifacts. What Harappans were doing, it is called loss wax technique. Loss wax technique. So, yeah, lost wax technique, same thing. So, what actually they do, they make the statue of wax, right, and thereafter they put a cover of hard metal over it or wood over it, and then make it hot, and then this wax will come out, and thereafter you put the molten metal inside, and after that you break that cover, and this is called loss wax technique. So first you make the statue of wax, and thereafter you put the frame over it, and then make it hot, then wax will come out, and then bronze, molten bronze you put inside that cover, and then break the cover, and you have a statue. This is called loss wax technique. So till date we are using the same technology, the metallurgical thing, right? Town planning we have seen, drainage system we have seen, and pottery making technique, it is still clay pottery you are using, and there are so many things painted on the pottery, and the method of painting is same. What method you paint? You make BRW, black and red ware, BRW pottery. So BRW pottery is a very unique pottery. BRW pottery is a very unique pottery. The red color was put there. It looked beautiful. Otherwise, the BRW, this is BRW. Then we have a geometrical figure also. Geometrical figure means triangle, intersecting circles, right? Square. They make fish on the pottery. They paint human on the pottery, birds on the pottery, animals on the pottery to make it beautiful. So all kinds of the pottery tradition that now you use for the decoration purpose, that beauty you can observe in the Harappans. I told you to go and visit the National Archives, and you will find the pottery built by the Harappans. And look at the lustrous, polished red color on it. It's still shining. It became 4,000 years now. Fine. So we have so many geometrical pattern, triangle, square, circles, intersecting circles. We have birds, fish, human, animal, right? Tree, people was most commonly painted. Swastik symbol was most commonly painted on pad. So you can find all these symbols there on the pottery. Bricks. In Harappan civilization, if you look at the bricks, they had three types of bricks. So three types of bricks means rectangular brick, and they make L-shaped brick, and they make wedge-shaped brick. Wedge-shaped, L-shape. Wedge-shaped matlab dhanush, bow and arrow type are the dhanush, wedge-shaped, and this is a rectangular bricks. Wedge, W-E-D-Z-E, wedge-shaped bricks, L-shaped bricks, and we have a rectangular bricks. So in rectangular bricks, here the size of the bricks is always same in entire Indus Valley Civilization, and even today, the ratio of the bricks is same. That is called 4:2:1. So 4:2:1. The ratio of the bricks are same. That is 4 is length, 2 is breadth and height 1. So 4:2:1. This ratio was maintained. Whether you find bricks in Harappa, whether you find bricks in Mohenjodaro, whether you find bricks in Manda, Daimabad, everywhere, right? So 4:2:1. This ratio is very common. So that is the reason why bricks was called the state craft, because state had regulated that you cannot make the bricks other than this size. So it was a statecraft. Bricks was called a statecraft because it was under the regulation of the state to maintain the size. And we have the trading pattern. The trading pattern is that whatever the trade and exporting items we had is still there. The Central Asia and Europe is a favorite destination of the trade. So pattern of the trade, which was set through Gulf of Persia, Gulf of Aden, before Suez Canal, this is the only route, and thereafter this is still maintained to have trade with. So everything that was there in the Harappan civilization was maintained with the fact of continuity. So question was that all other civilizations of the world had went under transition, but the aspects of the Indus Valley continued even today. So that is what is the biggest factor. We are not a nation, but we are basically civilization. This is the difference between India and the rest of the world. Rest are nation, but we are civilization, and this is the difference. Okay, and then lastly we have decline of Indus Valley civilization. So read that notes, SRIRAM IS today, and then suffix something in this class note and make it final. That anyhow we will have to revise this thing during the examination, that's it. Complete something, keep on completing, look at the confidence thereafter you will have. This is the only way you will regain your lost glory of school days. Whenever you ask some question, out of the many questions you say, sir, पढ़ते हैं याद नहीं रहता है. We study a lot but don't remember anything. I know the reason. Even Buddha and Jaina was knowing the reason. But I will tell you when we will teach Buddha and Jaina, then you will come to know that what is the problem in you. Fine. So we'll wait for that. So decline of Indus Valley civilization. Earlier there was a colonial theory, and colonial theory everybody, whether it was Wheeler, whether John Marshall, all put the point that it's mainly because of the invasion of Aryans. Invasion of Aryans. They put forward the theory called invasion of Aryans. Simple thing was that they wanted to project the superiority of West. So this theory was guided by superiority of West. Superiority of West means Wheeler and John Marshall, they tried to prove the superiority of West, and Aryans invaded over India, Harappans. They take many references. According to Wheeler, in Rig Veda, there is word called Purandhar. According to Wheeler, in Rig Veda, there is a word called Purandhar. There is a word called Haryupiya. Purandhar was known as, meaning of the word Purandhar was breaker of the fort, breaking of forts. Meaning of the word Purandhar is breaking of forts. And meaning of the word Haryupiya is, that is Harappa. Harappa. Breaker of the forts, Purandhar. And Haryupiya is Harappa. I will dictate later, first understand. Rig Veda is a work of the Aryans. And according to these historians, the Aryans came from Central Asia, invaded Europe, invaded in order to prove the superiority of the West. So they say the word Purandhar was used for the Indra, the highest god of Aryans. And since Harappans lived in fortified area, therefore it is presented as a context of invasion. So this is the proof that Aryans had invaded over Harappans, because Harappans living in the fortified area, and god of the Aryans was called Purandhar, those who break the forts, and this is the reason why this word was used in the context of the invasion over the Harappans. And Aryans were knowing the Harappa because they had mentioned Haryupiya in the Rig Veda. So on that very basis they try to prove. Then from Mohenjodaro, from the lower town, we have found many skeletons, human skeleton, which have a cut mark with very sharp edge weapons. So cut mark with sharp edge weapons means the only Aryans were using the lances, swords, right? Harappans, they had only knife. We have seen yesterday or day before yesterday, knife. So therefore this cut marks with the sharp edge weapons confirm the invasion of the Aryans. Fine. So on that very basis, they said that this civilization was destroyed because of the Aryan invasion. But the modern historians said, firstly, the latest theory is that there is no Aryans or the Harappans, they were divided. Fine. Aryans were indigenous people, and Harappans are indigenous. This is the modern theory, which is still going on in research mode. But how to counter this theory? The same level of argument that according to Western historian only, Aryans came to India in 1500 BC, right? And Harappans started declining in 1750 BC. So decline of the Harappans started 250 years before. So how the Aryans could be responsible for the decline of the Harappans? If you take the old theory altogether, forget about the new thing. Old theory is Aryan invasion, and old theory is Aryans came to India in 1500 BC. So how it is possible? Okay. So this is, they rejected the theory that this is a full of flaws. So Aryan invasion theory is actually not a theory, that is they rejected. You can understand by also that how this theory is totally wrong. Rig Veda said lots of word about Saraswati river, Indus river. So Indus Saraswati was the core region of Harappans, and Indus Saraswati was the core region of the Aryans. Fine. According to geological information scientifically, Saraswati river started declining around 1700 BC, 1800 BC. So it had become extinct, right? So if Saraswati river got extinct and Aryans came 200 years later, then how they come to know about the Saraswati river 200 साल के बाद, and so much glamorous word in Rig Veda. That is the reason why the Aryans came 1500 BC is totally wrong. Fine. So what is the best possible thing? That Harappans and the Aryans, they were living side by side together, right? And they were from the same geographical locations, and they were the same people, which fossil of Rakhigarhi also confirm the same thing, that there are no new race in India, whether Harappans, whether Aryans, or whether Dravidians. They are the same racial characteristics, right? So this is the something new research has to be there. If history has to be rewritten, this is the segment where you have to write again on the basis of new facts and figures. But हम लोग तो इधर लिखने लगे modern में. Everybody know the thing. So things which is very complex is Harappans and the Aryans. Who came first, who came later, and what is the relation between them? Find out some scientifically acknowledged facts to clear the myth. But still it is going on, and our work as usual, you understand. Then the old theory is that Aryans came to India in 1500 BC. Harappans started declining 250 years before, and therefore there is no correlation between them, the decline of the Harappans and the advent of Aryans. So colonial theory is totally wrong, and this is not an invasion. Look, invasion is not possible in 2000 BC because there were tribals. So there may be tribal conflict. Invasion means what? There was a border, there was a BSF, there was a visa system, open thing, you can come, you can go. So therefore, maybe migration, not invasion. And war, because if you go to the new place, you have to fight with the local. This is called tribal conflict. So this may be the reason, but this is not, should not be use the word invasion, right? And one more thing, entire world was pastoral community, and it is the specialty of the pastoral community, transhuman migration. So Aryans means the Central Asian tribe might be coming to India for the pasture land, and Indians were also going to Central Asia for the pasture land. So two-way migration, not one-way migration. If suppose Aryans came, not only Aryans came, we study Aryans came, but we don't study the Indians also went Central Asia, because both are pastorals. उसको भी दूर से green दिखता है, and that is the reason why both are coming and going. So this is two-way migration. How? how to be migration. Look, this plant or the tree, people, neem, both had Indian in origin, Indian subcontinent. As the name suggests also, indica, as Redica indica, that name suggests also the same thing. But people and neem is found very dominantly in the Iranian literature, in the Sumerian literature. So how it had reached there? Due to migration of the people. Buffalo and goat is indigenous. It is very much found in the Central Asia. Gai, cow jo hai, that is mentioned in the, this is of Iranian origin, Central Asian origin. But it became so sacred in India. How it became? In people's migration. So therefore, on the basis of study of paleobotany, paleogeology, we can prove so many things, that how cultural transformation and cultural acculturation, culture mixing going on because of the people's migration from the both side. Okay. So these are the things. In Rig Veda, there are gods like Indra, Varun, Mitra, Nashat, ye sab hai god. And these gods are there in the Iranian literature as well. So therefore, this is a cultural thing. So this theory had so much of the problems. But for our convenience, since we have to qualify the examination also, so let us conclude. The concluding thing is that the Harappans declined in 1750 BC, right? And then Aryans came in 1500 BC. So region is not because of the advent of the Aryans, the region is something else. And what is the region? Ecological imbalances. And this region is still there for the destruction of any city. Maldives will not be there after 2050. It will submerge in water. The ancient city of Dwarka submerged in Gujarat, right? Many coastal areas will go, right? Many areas will turn into the arid zone, desert zone because of change in climate. So these things must be going on. So the region is the region behind the decline of Indus Valley Civilization. First theory is Aryan invasion theory. Aryan invasion theory. This is a colonial theory. Colonial theory presented by historians like John Marshall and Wheeler. John Marshall and Wheeler. According to them, the decline was mainly due to invasion of Aryans. They take many archaeological and literary facts, archaeological and literary facts to prove the theory. To prove the theory. To prove the theory. Like in Rig Veda, which was the works of Aryan, mention Purandhar and Harappa. Purandhar and Harappa. Purandhar means breaker of the forts. Purandhar means breaker of the forts. Harappa was referred as Harappa. So Aryans were aware about fortified city life of the Harappans. Aware about fortified city life of the Harappans. Fortified city life of the Harappans. There are archaeological evidence from Mohenjodaro from the lower town of Mohenjodaro. We found many skeletons having cut mark by sharp-edged weapons. Which was said as works of Aryans, which was said due to invasion of Aryans. Works of the Aryans, invasion of Aryans. Then change the paragraph. Some European historians put the date of decline of civilization, put the date of decline of Harappan civilization around 1750 BC. But advent of Aryans around 1500 BC. So Aryans came much later after the decline of Harappans. Second theory is ecological imbalances. Ecological imbalances. Second theory is ecological imbalances. I told you that what is the meaning of decline? There are so many ways to find the decline. First is decline in nature of urbanization. What do you mean by decline? Decline means the nature of, decline in nature of urbanization. decline in level of material culture, decline in level of technology, decline in loss of municipal control, decline means migration. So nature of urbanization, you understand the word decline, the how you refer the thing decline, whether there is a decline in nature of urbanization, decline in level of material culture, decline in level of technology, loss of municipal control means there is no water management latter phase, there is zigzag pattern of settlement, and of course migration. How do you prove migration? When the symptoms of the Harappan culture, speciality of Harappan culture found outside the Harappan zone, we call it as a migration. Because they migrated to the eastern side, they migrated to the southern side. So the super speciality of the Harappans, pottery, bricks, technology, we started finding in outside the Harappan zone, then we conclude that yes, there was a migration. So these things are after 1750 BC. Right, which is called Chalcolithic culture. So this is how we call migration. So these are the symptoms when we started watching in any civilization, we call it as a decline. And reason behind decline was ecological imbalances. There are modern geographers like Dales, Fair Jarvis, they prove the ecological imbalances. There are some modern geographers like Dales, Fair Jarvis, they prove the ecological imbalances. There are two ways which cause the ecological imbalances. There are two ways which cause the ecological imbalances. One is catastrophic. Catastrophic. And other is gradual. So catastrophic factor which cause the ecological imbalances, अचानक से आने वाला जो है, जैसे फ्लड, tsunami had changed the ecology, flood, fire, earthquake, these are the things which disturb the ecology. You know, in Mohenjodaro, Hrithik Roshan was about to drown in the water many times. So there are continuous flood in Mohenjodaro. 7 times deep flooding. Archaeologists said that there are 7 times deep flooding in Mohenjodaro. So Mohenjodaro is a big city. Gradual thing like change in the river course, means direction, change in the course of river, change in course of the river. Then rivers dried, rivers dried. Then decline in rainfall, decline in fertility of soil, decline in fertility of soil, deforestation, deforestation. Change in the course of rivers had dried, decline in fertility of soil, decline in rainfall, and deforestation. Harappans, they were using woods to construct the houses, bridge, so they might have cut the forest in large scale. So all these things cause the ecological imbalances. Now understand the real thing. There is Harappan city. There is a Harappan city. Then around that city, there is village community. And around that village community, there is tribal community. There are three stages of any city. That suppose there is a city Lothal, around that will be village community, along with that tribal community. So the similar arrangement you can say of many cities. All the cities had the same arrangement, and all the cities same arrangement. So this city survived because of interdependency between the village community, between the tribal community, and between the urban community, right? So this city had a delicate balance of relationship between village community, tribal community, and the urban community. So all three sustain each other, okay? And one city sustain other city. Supply chain. One city sustain other city. So if by any reason this delicate balance of relation between the urban to village to tribal community had broken, then city will get affected. If one city will get affected, then other city will get affected. And one civilization collapsed means other civilization collapsed. Suppose tomorrow you wish that China should collapse. If China would collapse, then many economies of the world will collapse, including India and America and everything, because aspects of interrelation, right? You import $100 billion goods, so your public will kill you if there is a problem. So this is the reason why the supply chain, which is called supply chain. So this linkages was broken because of the gradual and catastrophic thing, right? Like Mohenjodaro declined because of the deep flooding 7 times, and Mohenjodaro decline means impact over all Harappan cities. So it's not due to one day or the year, it had taken the century to affect, and this is the reason behind the decline, okay? So ecological imbalances is a sharp edge weapons, but it is basically like a slow poison, and thereafter there is no remedies to save after some time. So this is what is called ecological imbalances. The causes of the decline of Harappan civilization, उसी में लिखना आगे. The causes of the decline of Harappan civilization lies in its formation. Lies in its formation. Because each city of the civilization, sustained because of delicate balance of relation between nearest urban community, village community, and tribal community. Each city was dependent on others. Each city was dependent on other city. There was civilizational interdependency. There was civilizational interdependency between Mesopotamia, Egypt, Indus, etc. So, if the delicacy of relation of one city broken either due to catastrophic or gradual ecological changes, then not only one city but entire civilization will get affected. Right, so this is the reason behind the decline of civilization. Therefore, the Indus Valley Civilization had declined around 1750 BC. So, ecological imbalances is the core region and nothing else that led to the decline of society, and decline resulted in migration, and because of migration the decline became speed up because we found the many traits of civilization in the nearby areas. So, these are the things we have to prepare. Regarding the political organization, we have already told you that since we have not deciphered the script of Indus Valley Civilization, therefore, we are not in position to say completely that whether priest was ruling there or whether merchants was ruling there, but either of the two. Fine. But in Mesopotamians and Egyptians were definitely theocratic state. Their nature was revolving around the priest ruling same. Right. So, finish it today. By the evening, you read all the page of the notes and read all the notes that we made in the class and revise it within 2 hours after going the home.